at the top now, still rolling the aircraft. Now this is where the gyroscopic forces of the engine and the propeller are struggling against the aerodynamics of the fuselage as he continues with 2 more rolls, and then on the upright position enters into a vertical spin into a vertical down roll. Now watch, here comes 6 positive G's and a hard pull at over 250 miles per hour now. That's what you call G-forces. Straight back up at your air show right. Continuing to roll the aircraft now. He's going to stop the roll, holding it there momentarily. Airspeed almost to 0. Pushing the stick forward in the cockpit for an outside Humpty or a 3 negative G flip over the top. A couple of rolls on the down line now as Doug lines up on the runway show line, and again, hard pulls back to the horizontal axis. Holding it there momentarily now, slowly pulling the stick back in his lap. He's only going through a couple of G's, but over the top of the looping maneuver, rolls the aircraft all the way through and continues to roll, but this time pushes outside. 5 negative G's now, hanging on to those shoulder straps, and there is 4 points of the 8-point roll to the inverted, and another 4 points back to the inverted. Now, again, 4 negative G's as he pushes up and over the top, using every bit of that 400 horsepower to bring the aircraft back up into a shoulder roll and continuing to roll. Like we said earlier, these guys are not content flying right side up for very long. What do you think so far of Mr. Doug Jardine? Straight back up into a beautiful blue El Toro sky. He stands hard on the rudder pedal, executes a perfect hammerhead stall turn, and there is a 3/4 snap roll. That is a vertical spin, also known as the snap roll. In England, they call it the flick roll. 4 points of the hesitation roll where he stops every 90 degrees of rotation and continues all the way through a complete roll. Over the top now in 5/8 of a loop, gets back to the upright. There's 2 points of a 4-point roll, continuing to roll, stopping every 180 degrees of rotation on the backside of 5/8 of a loop now at the airshow center stage, momentarily holding it horizontal now, pulling very gracefully over the top and continuing to roll, this time continuing to push outside and finishing a vertical 8 over the top now. Almost there. He completes the maneuver, and I assure you, he's trading off positive 4 negative G's and feeling every bit of it, but he's not finished yet. This is what you call the world's tightest loop. 1.5 snaps on the down line as he lines right back up with the airshow center line and pulls back to the horizontal axis. You will notice now, through each of these maneuvers, he is flying a perfect horizontal 45-degree and 90-degree line of flight all the way through this demonstration. The airplane capable of flying as slow as 60 miles per hour, and he reaches almost that speed before he slightly and gracefully half rolls the aircraft and comes down the backside of the split S. Gracefully up and over the top now, stands hard on the rudder, flying the airplane on the side of the fuselage, inverted, kicking the rudder back over again, what you call the loop with the sawtooth turn at the top. On the rear of any aircraft are what you call the empennage, the vertical tail and the horizontal tail, and on most airplanes, the fixed portion, which is known as the horizontal stabilizer, and the rudder, usually make up about 75% of the surface area, but on the Sukhoi, the fixed positions are the smaller of the surfaces, with the rudder and the elevator being much, much larger, which enable this airplane to perform so well at the very low speeds as well as the high speeds that the airplane flies. Now, a quarter roll as he pulls to the upright on the side of the fuselage, again sliding the aircraft, still rolling now, running out of airspeed. That indicator is going to reach just about 0, but he's going to let the nose fall through the horizon, but not before he hangs it on the propeller and 400 horsepower. The 3-point hesitation roll as he lines up the wings with the horizon in front of him and then pulls gracefully over the top. Through this portion of the maneuver now, there is an outside snap roll followed by a 1/2 snap back to the upright position. Again, a perfect example of a pilot performing a negative G maneuver and finishing off with the positive G. A little bit on the rudder now as he rolls the airplane 1/4, pulling up over the top and again sliding the aircraft through the sky, this time on the side of the fuselage, and now a 1/4 roll to complete the bottom half and get to the upright position. Throughout his air show routine, he is pretty much keeping this aircraft within that 3,000-foot box. And that is what the pilots in world competition are judged on their ability by. A series of outside shoulder rolls brings him over the top of 1/2 of a loop and back to the upright position again. Now I want you to imagine right now that you are sitting in the cockpit of the SU-26. Your left hand is on the throttle. Your right hand is on the control stick. All the way through these maneuvers, like what you are seeing, the controls in the airplane are being cross-controlled. When the airplane is rolling to the left as you get over the top, the stick is over to the right to compensate for the crabbing attitude that he is putting by using opposite rudder to complete these types of maneuvers. Airspeed almost to 0 once again. He's going to hold it there on the propeller momentarily and then let the nose pull through. The power comes off. The nose comes through the horizon. Now the power comes back in again as he pushes out the bottom inverted. This time going from positive to negative G's, and again hanging it on the propeller and the 400 horsepower of the Videnyev radial engine, and just barely but successfully making it right over the top. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, he's having fun. Now what you're watching up here is a great many years of practice and dedication, and it really is fun, but I gotta tell you, please, don't try these maneuvers at home. But if you want to find out what aerobatic flying is all about, Doug Jardine's the guy to talk to as he slows the aircraft down below its published minimum controllable airspeed, barely more than about 40 miles per hour. But listen to the power. He's hanging on the prop and the engine in slow flight, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Doug Jardine. Now that's horsepower. From less than 40 miles per hour, that engine and propeller still pull him up and over the top as he comes down the backside of the good old-fashioned barnstormer's loop. There's a little bit of rudder authority. Hard on the left rudder for a big, graceful hammerhead turnaround. We also like to call that the crop duster turn. There's 1 and 2 and 3 points of the hesitation aileron roll. The propeller clawing its way back up into a beautiful blue evening sky, up and over the top for another split S, and that's 1/2 of the loop coming down the backside to finish on the bottom. Holding it on the horizontal axis there momentarily. Now, this is pilot control coordination, going through a rolling 180-degree turnaround while he continues to roll the airplane all the way through. Ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly the kind of world-level aerobatic maneuver that our pilots are judged by. From your airshow left, ladies and gentlemen, one more pass before Doug comes back in. Doug Jardine in the knife-edge flight of the magnificent Sukhoi Su-26. Well, how's that for hanging on to your lunch? Doug's gonna